The Cosmos Serpent of Kaldheim. One of the Cosmos monsters. Created at the birth of the world, dwelling in the void between the realms. The first and oldest of the Cosmos monsters. His true size is unknown because he can divide himself into multiple smaller segments that move independently around the world tree. All elves on Kaldheim share a reverence for him, and many elves wear clothing that reflects that reverence. From hair braided to look like scales to woven designs and actual snakeskin. Tyvarkel's serpentine tattoos are also a reference to the Cosmos Serpent, symbolizing its fangs and the ability to spring forward and strike. Welcome. MTG Commander Spotlight, Koma, Cosmos Serpent. Koma is a 7-to-cast legendary creature serpent, with an ability of Koma cannot be countered. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 3/3 blue serpent creature token named Koma's Coil. And sacrifice another serpent, choose one. Tap target permanent. Its activated abilities can't be activated this turn. Or Koma, Cosmos Serpent gains indestructible until end of turn. Koma is a huge creature that can produce serpent tokens, disrupt enemy creatures by sacrificing a serpent, and also can protect itself by sacrificing a serpent. What is our strategy? Our strategy is to protect Koma, flood the board with serpents, and take down our opponents with Serpent Swarm or by commander damage. Decklist composition. Here we organize our deck into composition that compels us the right cards to our deck. Okay, let's walk through to the decklist. Mana ramps. First, we have Soul Talisman and Soul Ring. These two gives us 2 colorless mana. Next, we have Arcane Signet that gives us any colored mana, depending on the commander's colored identity. Worn Power Stone can give us 2 colorless mana. While Simic Locket and Simic Cluestone can give us green or blue mana, and with these 2 cards, when sacrificed, they can draw us cards. The next cards can search and fix our mana. These are Rampant Growth, Cultivate, Kodamar's Reach, Nissa's Pilgrimage, Search for Tomorrow, Migration Path, Explosive Vegetation, and Quandrix Cultivator. Let's proceed to draw engines. The first draw engine is Seer's Sundial. Seer's Sundial has the ability of Landfall, that whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2 colorless. If you do, draw a card. Elemental Bond and Garak's Pack Leader has the same ability, and that is whenever a creature with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Primary Epiphany is an enchantment card that at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. Primal Epiphany can draw us cards when we have the greatest power creature on the board, and if we don't have, we can pump a creature. Reconnaissance Mission has the ability of whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. This makes our Serpent Coils and other creatures a draw engine. Shaper's Sanctuary is an enchantment card that has the ability of whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. With this, our creatures that are targeted by a spell or an ability by our opponents, we can draw cards from it. The next cards can draw us and can put additional lands into play. These are Explore, Growth Spiral, Eureka Moment, and Urban Evolution. Garak's Uprising is an enchantment card that does all. First ability is whenever Garak's Uprising enters the battlefield, if have a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw a card. Then its second ability is creatures you control have trample. And lastly, whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Next we have single target removals. The first 4 cards can help us destroy an artifact or enchantment, and these are Broken Bond, Naturalize, Wilt, and Return to Nature. The next spells can counter our opponent's spells, and these are Negate, Counterspell, Mana Leak, Mythic Genesis, Capture Plasm, Neutralize, and Cancel. Lost in Mist can counter a spell and can return target permanent. While Wipe Away and Rescind can only return target permanent. Let's proceed to board wipes. Whelming Wave has the ability of return all creatures to their owner's hands except for Krakens, Leviathans, Octopuses, and Serpents. Same as Shun Voda, the Rising Deep when added by its kicked cost. Ether Spouts has the ability of for each attacking creature, its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. While Ether Eyes can return all attacking creatures to their owner's hand. Next we have the standalones. The first standalone card is Ramping Baloths. It has the ability of landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may create a 4/4 green beast creature token. While Spawning Kraken has the ability of whenever a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent you control deals combat damage to a player, create a 9/9 blue Kraken creature token. Having these two, we are flooding the board with massive Serpents, Krakens, and Beast, and taking down our opponents with these massive board state. Let's proceed to enhancers. Mercfiend Liege has the ability of other green creatures you control get +1/+1, other blue creatures you control get +1/+1, and untap all green and or blue creatures you control during each other player's untapped step. Gaia's Anthem is an enchantment card that pumps our creatures. While Ulvenwald Oddity has the ability of Trample, Haste, and pay 7, transform Ulvenwald Oddity. Ulvenwald Oddity will become Ulvenwald Behemoth, and has Trample, Haste. And other creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Trample and Haste. Having these two, we are pumping our massive army. Biomass Mutation will turn our creatures into the gigantic and powerful creatures on the board. While Swiftfoot Boots will give the equipped creature Hexproof and Haste. Combine Chrysalis can give our token creatures flying, and by paying 4, we create more beast tokens. Master Biomancer can boost our entering creature with +1/+1 counters depending on Master Biomancer's power. While Ring of Evosile can give hexproof to the equipped creature, if the player paid the 2 colorless mana to activate the ability. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature if it's blue. Proceeding to our enablers. Quandrix Command has many abilities and you can only choose 2. These are, return target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. Counter target artifact or enchantment spell. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. And lastly, target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their library. Decisive Denial enables us to fight a creature or counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 3 colorless mana. Return of the Wild Speaker enables us to draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control, or non-human creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. Simic Charm has many abilities and these are the options: target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn, or permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn, or return target creature to its owner's hand. Mizium Skin enables our creatures to gain +0/+1 and hexproof when we overload it. Sareth, the Viper's Fang, enables our other creatures to have Death Touch when they are tapped, and other creatures that are untapped, those creatures have hexproof. Her activated ability is pay 1, tap, untap another target creature or land you control. Glorious Sunrise has many abilities for an enchantment card. These abilities are, at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose 1. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample until end of turn, or target land gains tap, at 3 green mana until end of turn, or draw a card if you control a creature with power 3 or greater, or you gain 3 life. This card can pump, mana ramp, draw and gain life. We are almost done, but first, what is our land composition? Let's proceed. Our land is composed of 19 forest, 17 islands, and Simic, Growth Chamber. The total cost is summed up through TCG Player, and the total cost is $41.01. For the full description of the card prices, please visit the link below and change it to TCG price. Prices will change eventually. I would like to thank you all for watching. Please give a like. Press the subscribe button for more updates and share this video to your friends who loves MTG. Once again, thank you.